Shalom and good day all. This is Tehillim29 back again for another Fool's Gold review. And my goodness, this is going to be an interesting one. Alright, just to get you to understand how Fool's Gold works, the things I rate are the cover, the art, and the story. Of course, there's a total that goes towards the artist and as well as the writer. But how does the total work? It works in conjunction to the currency conversion of the comic. As you can see, it's $3.99 US, to which $3.99 US. Shelf price here in Australia is $7.95, but because I have a standing order and get it from my LCS, is at $7.15. So, starting off with the cover rating. Does the cover work in tandem as to what is happening within the story? In fact, it does. The rating for it, 6 out of 10. Now that's a little bit higher than what I've normally done for these in the Fool's Gold. How much do I think it's worth? $1.50. Now let's move into the internal art. Alright, this is around the beginning. I'll now move towards the middle. And now towards the end. So, the overall rating for the art, as it seems pretty consistent in quite a lot of areas, and I really enjoyed that. Again, 6 out of 10. This is getting a little bit high for some reason. I wonder why. Alright, let's move on to the story. Did the story give us our cast of characters? Yes. Okay. Did the story give us places? Yes. Did it give us time? Not so much. But did it also give us comic references? Well, one comic reference and a correct comic reference, which was really good for it. There was another reference made, and I will point that out actually, because it felt unnecessary, and it didn't really fit with what so-called Brainy Brittany was trying to do with the story. This was the comic reference that felt a bit out of place. A little bit of accuracy would not go astray here, because you're going to be throwing the readership into guess mode as to, oh, when the F did this happen? And it's been officially 2 years since Cassie Sandsmark met up with her employer. Yeah. You have to show that. I don't care if you have to show it in regards to, say, a Wonder Woman comic, but it needs to be shown. And for that, you lose a point. You gain a point for the correct one at the beginning of the story, but you also lose that same point at this part of the story. Good for having a go, but it wouldn't have hurt to have some accuracy there. And correction, yes, it does cover time in this, in parts of the story. which was also good. Now, one thing I really enjoyed about this story, I'm going to show you. It's when scenes like these came up, which they come off like a bit of a ancient parchment, or ancient parchment. This is something I enjoyed, and I felt that it fit her character. As you can see here, and it goes all the way, even towards the end of the story. Of course, you get her conversations with the Greek deities, which also stood out. Now, that's the cover at $1.50, the art at $1.50 in worth rating. Now, let's go for the rating for the story. I know it's a little bit late than never, but I'm going to give this story a 5 out of 10. Yeah, it's a little bit high on my chart. I don't normally give a Bender story a 5. Normally it's down the area of a 3, or a 2, or even a 1, or a 0. This one actually gets a 5. How much do I think the story's worth? $1.50. Now, you add that all up, or the overall total, and it's just under $7. It's still fool's gold, but the story is a little bit better than what it previously was. I'd still recommend Brian Michael Bendis on Elseworld stories and doing more of his Jinx World. I recommend reading his Jinx World over this, but this is just one of those small gems that snuck in. It's not a high 5, it's not a low 5, it's just a 5 out of 10 in story rating. Well, until then, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Even put your comments. Don't forget to leave some comments. What do you think this story rates as for your own rating? And how much do you think the story's worth? Of course, the artist won over the writer. And if you've now made it to the end of... Oh, let's not forget. Let's keep it colourful. And until then, if you've now reached the end of this video, you are awesome.